Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible construction projects in all of history. Seriously, it's a story about leadership, crazy opposition, and a deadline so tight it was basically impossible. Let's get into it. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're staring at some challenge and it just feels like a mountain. It's completely overwhelming and you've no idea where to even start. I want you to hold on to that feeling because that is right at the heart of the story we're exploring today. So, let's set the stage. The job ahead isn't just difficult, it looks downright hopeless. We're talking about a city in total ruins and a people who are just crushed.
Okay, so picture this. It's 445 BC. For the Israelite exiles who finally come home, the situation is just bleak. The walls of Jerusalem are nothing but a pile of rocks. And without walls, you don't really have a city, you have a target. The people are exposed, their morale is in the tank, and their whole identity as a nation feels like it's crumbling right along with the stones.
Meanwhile, hundreds and hundreds of miles away in the Persian capital, a guy named Nehemiah hears about all this. Now, he's got a pretty good gig. He's the cupbearer to the king, a position of huge trust. He's safe, he's comfortable. But when he hears what's happening to his people back home, his heart just breaks. So what does he do? Does he start drafting blueprints? Does he start scheming and lobbying the king? Nope. His first step is something that, to us, might seem totally backwards. You heard that right. Not 4 days, not 4 weeks, 4 months. His gut reaction to this massive, urgent crisis was to stop, hit the pause button, and just turn to God. You know, in our world that's all about act now, think later, Nehemiah shows us that sometimes the most powerful move you can make isn't a move at all. And what's so fascinating is this wasn't just some vague emotional plea. His prayer had a strategy, a real blueprint. He starts with praise, basically reminding himself how big God is. Then he moves to confession, and notice he includes himself in the failures of his people. He's not pointing fingers. Then he anchors his hope in promises God already made. And only then, right at the end, does he ask for what he needs. So after getting the king's permission, Nehemiah heads to Jerusalem, and the work finally starts. But guess what else starts? The opposition. I mean, the second they start making progress, enemies crawl out of the woodwork. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. His opponents tried it all. First, distraction. Hey, come have a meeting with us, when they really wanted to harm him. Then deception, spreading rumors he was planning a rebellion. And finally, just good old-fashioned intimidation. But look at Nehemiah's responses. Laser focus, a direct shutdown, and a quick prayer for more strength. Every single time. I absolutely love this line. Faced with this huge public smear campaign, he doesn't get dragged into a messy debate. He doesn't get defensive, he just calls it what it is, a complete fabrication, and gets right back to the work. So despite all the attacks, the constant threats, and just the massive scale of this job, the work keeps going. And the way it all ends is, well, it's nothing short of mind-blowing. I mean, can you even imagine this scene? People are literally building with a trowel in one hand and a sword in the other. Their enemies are just circling, laughing, totally convinced this whole thing is going to fail. And yet, this impossible task, it gets done in 52 days. Just let that number sink in for a second. 52. A project that should have taken years was finished in less than 2 months. It's just staggering. And here's the really crucial part, the effect this had. The same enemies who had been mocking and threatening them were suddenly just silent. They were totally intimidated. They lost all their confidence because the sheer speed and success of it all pointed to something they just couldn't explain. And there it is. That's the mic drop moment of the whole story. The restoration was so unbelievable that even Nehemiah's enemies had to look at it and admit, okay, this wasn't just them. God did this. The wall itself became a message. Okay, so this is way more than just a cool historical story. What can we possibly learn from an ancient construction project that applies to the impossible tasks we face in our own lives? This slide really boils it down to a practical playbook. It's a strategy that kicks off with prayer, not just frantic action. It teaches you to expect that you'll face opposition and to prepare for it, to say no to the things that try to pull you away from what's truly important, and ultimately, to rely on a strength that's not your own. And that brings us to the biggest idea of this whole thing, restoration. See, God wasn't just restoring a wall, He was restoring a people, their hope, their identity. And He did it in such a stunning way that it served as a giant billboard to everyone watching, showing them His power and His purpose.
So, as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What's the wall in your life that's waiting to be rebuilt? Maybe it's a relationship, a project, something in your community, or even just in your own heart. Whatever it is that feels broken and impossible, Nehemiah's story is a pretty powerful reminder that maybe, just maybe, a 52-day miracle is closer than you think.